Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play RimWorld. So this is gonna be a bit of an interesting video, at least for me, because I accidentally deleted my recording for this one. So this one's going to be post-commentary, other than the usual live commentary that I do, which made me pretty sad because I was really happy with this one. But, you know, I'll try to follow my thoughts along with things, try to remember what I said at times, and continue off from there. So, when I started playing this one, it had been a while since I recorded the last video, because as some of you may know, I just had my Thanksgiving break. So I actually recorded a whole series of RimWorld videos and used those as a backlog over that break, because I actually wasn't at my computer to record. So it had been a long while since I've played in this video right here, and because of that, I was a little bit worried that I might do bad, but you guys, I have got to thank you guys so much, because you have been incredibly helpful with the comments and all that, because you guys have given me some very helpful hints. Like I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anyone, but 3 people who I remember very well, like GuildOfCalamity, Jeffrey Murray, and CreeperCosmos, of course. Like, you guys in particular have been super helpful with giving me hints, and I will try to carry those out in the future. So, right now, what I'm pretty sure I was talking about was, the geothermal generator, because obviously this is my, first real time getting a chance with the colony built with the geothermal generator, doing things, and I frickin' love it. Like, I think it's about time for sure that we started mixing things up, because I do miss, to some degree, building bases along the mountainside, because I felt like it gave me a little bit of security. Oh, right here is when I forgot to build some batteries, and I was like, holy crap, we need to get some batteries in to conserve power. But anyways, talking about the mountains, I feel like I think building into the mountains is a very sound strategy. Like, I think very good things can come for that. But I think it was a little bit of a comfort zone for me, and maybe one that I needed to break out of. Like, despite my pretty bad play in those previous ones, in all honesty, I felt like, I felt more secure in the mountainside. So it'll be certainly fun and interesting and really cool to try out building a new home zone and all that jazz. But definitely the positives that go along with that. I was just realizing how little metal I have right now, and now I think I'm searching the map to try to find some, be like, oh, where's the metal? Is there any metal here? Oh no, we have all this stash right here. But fortunately for me, there was still a little bit scattered around, so I decided to just make our miner lady into prioritizing mining and hauling. That way, I could, oh, right now I just make her a hauler, apparently. Before too long, I also put her back on mining, so she can continue mining out that, one mining location that landed where our home was. Oh, and did we pick up the pistol yet? oh, there we go. I probably don't know at this point. It's kind of funny, actually, being able to watch everything that's going on, myself right now. But, I'm pretty sure I haven't realized that no one is actually equipped with a pistol yet. Which is obviously very bad. Right now, I'm just deciding, you know what, Larson needs to get some research done, because I actually don't have any research even started. That one is in progress for the hydroponics, which obviously I wanted to start, but, obviously he wasn't actually working on it. So I figured it'd be a good idea to just have a hauler, and miner, one person working on construction mainly, while Larson focuses entirely on doing his research. And later on in this episode, I'll start building a hydroponics section, because one of the hints, let's actually go over all the helpful hints you guys have given me, I suppose. One of them is that food, building those hydroponics things, you guys have told me, is super crucial, so you can keep on selling those to any traders that go by, so you can either buy additional slaves to help work, with construction and building the base and all that, or additional metal, which obviously is very crucial towards your base's construction and all that jazz. Then also, I need to work on setting up my killing areas more effectively. Like, apparently, I completely forgot that I said this, but apparently in a video I recorded in the past, I actually said that I wanted to close up the kill zones that I made with all the turrets, so I would funnel them into, like, this death trap kind of area. And obviously, I never ended up doing that, so that's something that I would, either creating a funnel to guide them in, or apparently, someone mentioned that a kind of staircase-looking setup apparently works very well. So that might be something that I would want to work at, in that regard. Then, also, Guild of Calamity, I remember he mentioned this one specifically, blasting charges. He told me that blasting charges is something that I really need to focus on. I think I go for the nutrient? Yeah, I go for the nutrient stuff there, just to make sure I don't run out of food so fast. But, blasting charges, he's said to me that apparently those are extremely helpful for taking out raiders. For example, if they, like, bypass all your defenses and you need one more way to take them down, you could create, like, a single room that's just got nothing in it. It's just, like, a single door to occupy enemies while they try to break the door down. And in that time, you could have a blasting charge placed on the floor in that area beforehand, and then blow all the raiders sky high, while they're trying to break down the door. And that sounds like something I would absolutely love to do. I don't know if blasting charges can take out enemies in one hit. I think I'm actually talking about the blast charges right now in the video as well. Or I was. Yeah, because I'm doing the little square to say, like, oh, if we had a room right here, then everyone would walk in and kaboom, they'd all die. Yada, 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 that whole jazz. But, let me see. This was a really interesting one that I didn't know of. Apparently, fire does not spread on concrete, which makes a hell of a lot of sense. So apparently, it might be a good idea. Oh, I just realized about the gun. It's kind of funny. But apparently it would probably be a wise idea to surround your home with, metallic or concrete flooring, like, because presumably that actually would have saved me a couple of times in the past when fires were spreading, and I was just, too foolish to know that. Right now I'm realizing that we really need to haul out all of that stuff right there, or at least I think I'm realizing that, because, that's another one of the benefits of building into the mountainside, because really, there's, so much less to haul when you're by the mountain, and we have so much stuff just to move aside there, which obviously will be a bit of a bummer, but I guess it is probably good for me to have to worry about hauling more, because that will make me, be more concerned about it in the future, because definitely one of the most, damning things in my runs of this game have been, foolish use of, hauling my resources and stuff like that, or things that I should have been hauling but failed to and ended up killing me because of that mistake. So right now I'm setting up the hydroponics tables. I'm trying to make them look pretty, nice and symmetrical. Unfortunately, the walls, the way I want to set up the walls doesn't look absolutely perfect. As you see, I kind of struggle here. Oh, I probably should have just put 2 in the middle. In hindsight, that would have looked really nice, but instead I went with this uneasy pattern right here, and I was just like, you know what, that will be perfectly fine. But you know, like, I think that room will look fine, especially if we don't have another room branching off to the left side of that one. I think that'll look absolutely perfectly hunky-dory, lovely. Sun lamps, that was another thing. As time goes on, I'm pretty sure, I'm more and more sure that sun lamps actually do help your crops grow more. The one thing that makes me unsure about that is actually sun lamps are only meant for the outside crops, though, because, obviously, if you're growing those outside, they're not going to have any light, so you'd want to put out a sun lamp so that they can get solar power during the day as well. But right near here, I was checking the description of the growing area, and I was surprised to see that it actually didn't say anything about sun lamps. But actually, maybe it does in the codex, because I haven't really examined the codex in this game, and that's probably a good reason why I'm so bad. Because I'm too foolish to use the codex. But, you know, right about here, I'm hoping, like, once we get all this food growing, and we then build a communications room or a comm room, things should hopefully go very positively and smoothly for us in this one. Going back to the advice you guys have given me, huge one! Ah, there we go, I start hauling all that. Huge one, and I'm so glad I've started doing it myself, was obviously using steam geysers. And as you guys saw in the last video, that's why I focused on building my house out in this area, because I think that getting the power from the steam geysers is much more important than why am I blanking? Then using solar panels and being in the mountainside. Although, I think that might be a bit more okay if I refrain from ever using circuits. Because, or power conduits, the cords, the power cables. Because I absolutely hate those things, and I hope to never use them ever again, because walls do not short circuit. So, basically, if I ever have power trying to connect to anything, I'll try to use, those as much as possible instead of the alternatives. But, what was I about to say about this? This is a funny moment right here. I was like, oh my god, Horn, you freaking idiot. Or maybe her name is Horny, and it symbolizes her outlook on life, or I don't know. But yeah, obviously, she went and trapped herself in this little cave system right there. I always hate it when characters do that, because I'm like, wow, you've got to be the world's biggest moron. Like, how did you accomplish this? But, you would think she'd be able to climb right over that hydroponics table, but obviously that's not something that's been programmed into the game as of this point. And I would imagine probably never will. That sounds like something that would be just silly, to add in. But, you know, you never know what things will come into a game like this. So, excuse me. I was super happy to be mining out that whole metal supply there right now, because obviously our metal supply still isn't all that good, and it's about to get much worse as this, episode progresses, because we're gonna spend much more metal than we're going to be picking up. But with that whole supply of metal right there, we'll be able to get an enormous sum once all that is actually hauled. The thing that keeps all that from being hauled, though, is because I prioritized hauling all the scrap near my base instead, which I think was both a good idea and maybe a bad idea in some regards, because keeping that metal supply up is definitely a very good thing. Speaking of bad ideas, though, I just put down that sun lamp right out into the open. Big mistake. I did not know, and I find out shortly, not to spoil anything, that actually lamps can short circuit in the rain as well. Oh, of course, yeah, it starts raining, like, basically immediately after I set up that lamp. That's kind of funny. Oh, but it's not built yet. Never mind. But yeah, I was completely unaware until I recorded this episode, and in all honesty, it makes perfect sense, and I should have expected it, but I had no idea that, lamps also short-circuit in the rain. I thought it was only the batteries, but, anyways, gotta finish off with this advice you guys have given me. I think there's actually only one more, and that was frickin' move all of the debris around the area, and that's something that I wish I had figured out before, because I don't remember what episode it is, maybe like episode 8 or 9, but that I had some unbelievably horrid play in regards to this one sniper who single-handedly destroyed my whole base. Just because I couldn't shoot at him, all my people were wounded, and my turrets couldn't reach him, couldn't aim far enough to hit him. So, it was just a very, very foolish mistake on my part. So basically I just gotta get better now at, remembering to move and haul all of the rubble that is anywhere near where I want to set up my units to start shooting. Because obviously the farther we get, the more enemies are gonna show up. This is a funny moment here. It took me like 10 minutes to figure out why I couldn't get everyone to haul the metal select over there. Like, so now I uncancel this. I'm like, oh no, why can't I haul the metal? Well, obviously it says like must haul debris and only debris there in the top left corner. It took me like 10 minutes to figure that out. Sometime I could be a little bit dense, but I like to think that's a part of my character and charm, or something along those lines. But yeah, so basically, as I was mentioning before, I just really never want to get into a situation where my base is compromised by one single unit being a big dongleberry about things and having like the world's greatest sniper position. I feel a sneeze coming on, so please forgive me. Oh man, that was a crazy one. I know everyone experiences this, but I frickin' hate that feeling when you're about to sneeze, but it just doesn't come out, you know? Like, whenever I sneeze, I want to go full force and sneeze, for multiple reasons, because I'm sure most of you are aware, but sneezing is actually, a self-defense mechanic of the body to try to release bacteria that is getting caught in the, like, nostril hairs and stuff like that. I believe that's how it works. There's a bomb rat stuck in the... Oh, he just flew out. There's a bomb rat stuck in the hydroponics table for a second there. I didn't notice that. But here we are with the first chaotic moment in our life on this world, if I remember correctly. We got a little mad squirrel coming at us, and in all honesty, believe it or not, he actually causes us a lot more troubles than you would imagine a mad squirrel would. He doesn't ruin anything for us, but oh wait, no, I think I'm actually mixing this a little bit with an event that happens quite a bit after this. I don't think the squirrel causes us any real problems. Yeah, I think we're about to kill it right there. But I really, really have to get that gun away from Bartlett, because who has, once again, another really weird name on the squad. But Bartlett is not the best shot in the world, to say the least. Is that door able to close with a squirrel corpse there? That's something I didn't pay attention to last time. It would appear not. That would make sense. Yeah, that door's not closing. That's interesting. I was worried that the door wouldn't close when I was playing it, but I completely forgot to double check it and be like, oh, is the squirrel in keeping the door from closing? But luckily that gets hauled out before it could cause any problems. Oh, nope, I thought Horn was about to get it right there. But instead she's doing some gardening work, which actually is, perfectly fine, in my opinion. Obviously, because we want to get that, high amount of food growing in our base. I really should have built more batteries at this point, because obviously the more power the better, but I suppose it's actually not all that necessary to have built more of them, because, I mean, we're just going to be, we're just gonna be able to maintain power, and we're not using all that much with what we have right now, even though those sun lamps do take quite a lot of power, I gotta say. But basically what I was thinking right here is that I would finish off building the hydroponics room, so that could be its own individual space, and then I was thinking, do I want to keep on building the rest of the tables? At which point I decided I think that should be enough to get us some good food supplies, and I would put a bed in that room for the time being. Obviously, once I got some more living space, I would fill up the rest of those tables and remove that bed and place it somewhere else. But for the time being, I thought this would be a wise decision. Whether or not it is, I haven't been able to fully see, so that'll be something that will show up in the long haul, I suppose. Or I subtle toes. I don't even know what that means. I just wanted to say something that sounded like that. I really like how the left half of the door can still like be pulled outwards to open the door, even though there's nothing there to pull it. That is some good technology. Maybe there's just something maybe it's more of a pushing mechanic, and the door's pushed outward instead of pulled, so the actual thing is, like, underneath or on top of the door or something like that. But, now that that wall's there, the door actually makes functional sense. But, so if you guys see that bed, the bed in the room with the nutrient paste dispenser, how there's a normal bed, but then one of those like sleeping pods right next to it. Through this whole episode, I was a bit worried about the person in that sleeping pod, because I'm pretty sure if those batteries were to short circuit or explode or something like that, I'm pretty sure that the colonist in the bed would have been perfectly fine. But the, I think the one in the pod is at a bit more risk, so I was, somewhat worried about that positioning, but I think that should be fine, because I honestly don't even remember if batteries alone can short-circuit and explode. I know they can if they're exposed to the rain, but I don't remember if they can on their own. Right here, I was about to mark the areas. Ah, there's that short circuit. And we finished the gun turret cooling. I was trying to get as much research done in this episode as possible, and I was very happy with the amount that I accomplished. I honestly forget if we did any more after this, but, let's talk about, the lamp short-circuiting. Basically here, I was pretty worried. I was like, oh god, I've got to start selling my stuff, so I started selling everything right away. But lucky for me, especially since those are 3 fires that started in very close proximity to my base. Only one of them really my fault, but still a very bad one caused by myself. Lucky enough for me, though, it was a rainy thunderstorm, so those fires weren't really capable of spreading. Obviously, helping me out a lot. I was about to have Horn prioritize building those walls, but lucky for me, the game was having her do that automatically, so I didn't need to mess with any of that jazz. Someone really needs to haul those scrap that is inside that room, too. Otherwise, that squirrel that's living there is gonna get pissed. There should be a way to shoo animals out of living inside your homes, because I used to think they slowly starve to death, but now I'm pretty sure that they actually just kind of chill and be perfectly happy living there. Ah, here we go. We get our lovely chance to name our colony. I just decided to name it Eggville. You know, no, Egg City. That's what I named it, because, you know, what's a better way to name a planet than calling an entire planet a city? That's actually something I need to wonder. Are we naming the colony? I think we are naming the planet, the whole planet, when we do that. But maybe we're just naming our individual colony. I don't remember 100%. I'll have to read that, little, flavor text the next time it comes up. I'm actually gonna take a little drink of water right here. That's some good stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever had Mio, but Mio is damn good. Like, I'm having some grape-flavored water with some, Mio Fit, and it's like the best thing in the world. Not as good as tea, granted. I love tea so much. Or, like, apple cider, basically any warm drink is so good. Except for warm milk. I've never been too much of a fan of warm milk, but I don't really like milk alone either, so that's, something, I suppose. I didn't realize this till now, but, in the room with the nutrient paste dispenser, once again, I'm so sorry that I can't actually, like, point to anything, since this is, post-commentary, but in the room with the nutrient paste dispenser, the door to the left there, I should probably wall off the access to that area. Obviously, I want to be able to get in there myself, because that's where I have the drop-offs, the drop beacon for any travelers that drop me any supplies. But I would definitely want to wall off that area in the future, because I wouldn't want any raiders to avoid the turrets. Ah, here's our first raider too, speak of the devil. I wouldn't want any of our, I wouldn't want any raiders to be able to take that back door instead of going through the turret route. That's something I should definitely plan on, adjusting in the future. Ah, right here I was like, hell, let's go ahead and start our comms console. Comms console, that's a weird thing to say. That's actually exactly what it's called, though. That's funny, not even, the full communications. They just do the short-off comms. But yeah, so realizing that I was low on metals again, I was like, oh man, I've gotta go pick those up. So, but of course, this actually was a bit of a problem, starting off here, because I'm pretty sure when you set someone on hauling, they will always start with what you have, specified. So in this case, how Bartlett is taking over the scrap, because I have that prioritized. And right here, I'm like, oh man, I don't need those prioritized anymore, because I'd really like to pick up the metal. But, so I forget if I actually turn those off, or I decide to deal with it. I think I do turn them off at least for the time being. But obviously that's something we'll figure out. Oh, no, now I was worried about the prisoner bed. I was concerned because I know you can't put a prisoner in the room with the nutrient paste dispenser, but I forgot as to whether or not you could put a prisoner in the same room as your crops in general. And apparently you can. So that is obviously very, very nice and a good positive for us. Excuse me. A little burp right there. A little burp right there, my good sir. But, let me see. What was I thinking around this point? I think I was complaining about the food numbers, because I was like, oh man, I didn't know those only drop 5 apiece, which is definitely pretty small. I actually don't know how much food people take exactly whenever they eat via the nutrient paste dispenser. That's something I should probably watch right now, because I could definitely keep a good eye on that while all this is playing out before my eyes. But there we go. Now I decide to cancel that. But at least at first glance, it felt to me like just that only getting 5 food per plant that's put down is pretty bad. But you know, like, it's, I'm sure with a lot of them, it's something that would add up really, really quick. So maybe I do need to get a few more of those built. Man, I don't, there isn't any cattle raising in this game, or any kind of farming in that regards, with, raising animals and stuff like that. Ah, here comes our first combat for, Egg City, or whatever I called it. But that'd be really cool if you could, interact more with the Muffalo in the future, because they're kind of just chilling there for the most part in the series so far, and have a random likeliness of going mad and attacking you and stuff like that. So here, I was like, hey, we gotta set up Bartlett to start getting into combat, so obviously that's what I started doing. Got a lucky shot right off the bat, especially since she, initially, for whatever reason, decided to focus on attacking the other dudes. Probably because they don't have guns and they'd be easy targets, but I don't know, I thought that was silly. And now we get into like the worst combat of a lifetime. It's pretty funny. obviously neither of these people are competent shooters at all. I mean, I suppose one of them is an oaf and one of them is a miner. Neither of them are assassins, but still, like, the spell just goes horribly all the way around, like on both sides of them. Like, I forget when exactly I decided to change up my plan, because, things do actually, despite me having an initial advantage by getting the first shot off, things don't, go as well as I would have hoped in this bout right here. Like, I think that'll show up, any second now, or whatever, but now I'm thinking, like, any second now, at least make a hit. There we go, okay, yeah. So, our enemy, the oaf, I don't remember her name, it looks like Mitchell? Or Michelle? I think that's spelled Mitchell, like a boy's name, but that's clearly a woman. But basically, she got a good stun off on us, which put her at advantage. I think she had 57 health while we were at 52. Now she's at 53, though. Oh no, we went to 53, not her. So I just decided to have Horny go, or Horn. I don't feel comfortable saying it like that. Have her go ahead and give a little bit of a hand in this fight, and then we capture our first lady. Or first comrade, I suppose. I never thought of this till now, but Larson is the scientist, so I kind of, like, want to imagine with this whole squad of people that Larson is, like, a really, like, rude and sexist man. Like he's like, oh, why did I have to land on this colony with all these stupid women? I'm an almighty scientist. I obey the laws of reality, and freaking stupid nonsense like that, when all the other girls are just like, listen, man, we run this colony, you're just in there doing research all day, we're the reason why you're surviving, you sexist pig, and like slap him in the face, and he's like, okay, I will learn to love you girls, I apologize. And then he learns his lesson, and everything becomes happy in the end. That's the story I want. That's the story I want this colony to be. I want it to be a story of redemption for a previously sexist man who learns his lesson and learns to appreciate other people. That's the story of this squad. So right here, obviously, I am building the comms room, and I'm really deciding about how I want to set it up. At first, I was like, you know what, let's just make the usual small one, but then I decided we could fit a couple of good things in this room, so I decided to put 2 spaces of room on each time. This way, I could set this up as both a additional living space for someone, a comms room, obviously, but then also have the nice plants that I like to put in there, just because I don't know, I like plants. But then in addition to that, I could have the bed and some batteries put in there on the side. Like, because I was really thinking I need to start building some additional batteries so I could get a greater supply of power held up in my base in case of emergencies, or just to prepare for when I start using more power in total. Like, really, with a geothermal generator, that thing can last you a damn well long time by itself, but eventually you're either going to need some solar panels on the sides, or a second geothermal generator powering your base. Like, I was thinking at one point that I could maybe even connect that second geothermal generator that's like northward from the base right here, in the future. Maybe I'll do that, but I think it would be a wise choice for now to start off with some geothermal solar generators, in addition to our geothermal one. And man, oh man, I've got to say, oh, here I was worried that Larson was going to trap himself in the wall like whoever did before. I don't remember who exactly did it. I think it was Horn. By the gleam of my horn. It's like a Magnus there. But now I forget. Oh yeah, but luckily he was perfectly fine. So there we go. I set up my thing to build one solar panel because I think it would be a wise idea, and I put it a little bit lower just to keep enough room for the solar panels as humanly possible. Maybe that would be a good way to close off the bottom section. Just put 2 solar panels in the way. I think that would work really fine. But anyways, I think this is about where I close off this episode. So thank you all for watching. I'm sorry about the post commentary, but I hope it was still relatively interesting and fun for you guys. I don't think it would spoil the experience or anything, but I do prefer live commentary myself when I view things. But anyways, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, a comment, and or subscribing if you have not. I am the EggScrambledGamer. And I will see you all next time, unless this continues on here a little. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like I'm ending the video anymore. You know what? I'll just talk to you guys a little bit more until I see, like, the save thing pop up. Unless this is it? Yeah, I think the video's ending here. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time.